Are you ready to embark on a musical adventure? Do you want to compose music that captures a spirit of exploration and excitement? Look no further, because you've come to the right place. It is time to begin your journey. All great adventure themes have a powerful main theme with great underlying harmony. A B section is also crucial to allow contrast within the piece. And of course, you cannot forget about orchestration. Adventure sounds great with the symphony behind it. Now, let's get to it. What makes a good main melody? Well, there are two main components to creating a memorable and adventurous melody. They are repetition and strength. First of all, you want your adventure theme to be memorable. The best way of doing that is through repetition. Repeating motifs and phrases are both valid ways of going about this. On the smaller scale, simple 3 to 4 note ideas are extremely valuable. They are the substance of the melody and are responsible for much of the overall character. Generally, create 3 to 4 main melodic motifs and carefully structure them throughout the phrase using repetition. Speaking of phrases, they are also incredibly important for the melody's catchiness. It is best to repeat a phrase in multiples of 2, each time having some sort of new variation. Overall, to make the main theme memorable, use repetition on both a micro and macro level. Furthermore, you want your melody to be strong. This relates directly to the motifs themselves. Because you are making an adventure theme, strong intervals like fifths, fourths, and thirds are preferred. For example, The Legend of Zelda utilizes a leap a fourth downwards at the very start of its famous melody. This doesn't mean you need to copy Zelda, but using these strong intervals frequently, especially at the beginning, is incredibly important. In general, don't be shy when making an adventure melody. Large jumps are recommended. Now that you have the melody finished, or at least a good draft of it done, it is time to add the chords. Overall, you want to keep the harmony simple and mostly diatonic while still exploring outside the key to add to the adventurous feeling. For the majority of the adventurous themes I've heard, their harmony is rather simple. By this, I mean they usually use diatonic triads. The jazzy people watching will scoff at this and proclaim their minor 13th sharp 7th chords to be superior, but in my opinion, adventure themes should be simple harmonically. Stay on the one chord and then go from there. It's not very complicated. Now, simplicity is nice and all, but you can only go so far with basic diatonic chords. Allow me to introduce the hero chord. In a major scale, this is the major 2 chord. It sounds whimsical in mid-flight. In the minor scale, where I believe it to be the most effective, it is the major 4 chord, sounding heroic. You should use this chord. It'll make things sound so much greater, so much more adventurous. Trust me, it'll do much good for your theme. If you're solely in the major key, I recommend using the flat major 6 and flat major 7 chords. They also give it more of a heroic feeling as seen with the Mario cadence or the Zelda theme. So don't be afraid to use non-diatonic chords. You are making adventure music after all. A piece of music cannot revolve around just a single idea. For an adventure theme, this is especially true. That is why adding a B section is essential. The B section should contrast and compare to the A section. Contrast is simple. Because the A section started on the 1 chord, perhaps try the 4 chord. If the main theme was fast-paced, try a slower melody. Do you get what I mean? Contrast is very important for the adventurous feel as well. If the A section sounded like galloping through a grassland, perhaps have the B section resemble a walk through the forest. The B section should have strong contrast to the A section through its mechanics and feeling. Despite the contrast, it is still important for the 2 sections to share elements for cohesion. A journey may take someone to many places, but it is still the same person. How do you do this? Well, you could borrow motifs from the A section and place them in the B section. Similar cadences can be used as well, just don't forget to keep contrast in mind still. Furthermore, consider having some sort of background rhythm or ostinato that is able to glue the two sections together. So yeah, don't forget to keep the two parts of your music together with shared elements. Alright, so now that the B section is done and dusted, it is time to restate the A section. Of course, you could just add a C section and so on using similar rules to making the B section, but right now I'm just going to cut to the good part. The listener has already heard the A section, so why not play it in a different key? A key change sitting at the transition between the two sections can be truly impactful. You don't have to implement this step, but it is a great way to hype things up. Now to the real juicy stuff. You may feel that the main melody is not enough for the big climax. This is where expansion comes into play. As an example, you could add another 4 or 8 bar phrase on to the end of the theme to draw it out. You could also repeat the last bar or two for extra climax points. However, it is crucial to change the harmony when you expand the melody. You can copy and paste the melody, but the chords should be different. This also works the other way. Copy and paste the cadence, but switch up the melody to be more final. No matter how you approach, it is still important to expand on the main theme for the climax. You are at the end now. You have two main choices. The first is to end the piece when the reprise of the main theme ends. The second choice is to add an outro after the main theme has run its course. Ending the piece when the main theme ends is very straightforward and works for a lot of cases, but what if it doesn't feel juicy enough? What if you want to go bigger? Well, to write an effective outro, you should utilize some aspects from earlier in the piece. Perhaps take a part of your B section and slap it over a strong ending cadence, or combine your main melodies together for a big climax. Or maybe you want something more subtle and calm. A few slow chords that eventually resolve on the tonic. Either way, if you decide to add an outro, make sure it leaves the listener thinking, damn, that was good. Remember when I said you were at the end? Well, not quite. If you wish to take it one step further, you should begin the orchestration process. I won't go into full detail on how to orchestrate, but I will offer some tips to help you make something truly adventurous. First and foremost, a large range of dynamics is crucial. The ability to go from the softest pianissimo to a powerful fortissimo will give your listeners a sense of awe. Think of some of the most memorable music passages you've listened to. They likely feature dynamic contrast with a quiet section followed by a loud and triumphant one. When orchestrating, always keep dynamic contrast in mind. For your instrumentation, I recommend using strings as the bass. They can serve as the harmonic and melodic anchor of your piece. Strings are often considered the purest sounds of the orchestra, and they can create a lush and emotional foundation for your music. Brass screams heroic. Use these guys for your more triumphant sections. However, don't be afraid to use them in a more gentle way, such as soft solos and underlying harmony. And don't overlook the woodwinds. While they may not be as loud as brass, they can still have a significant impact on your piece. From soft oboe melodies to bassoon and clarinet chords to flute runs, woodwinds are incredibly versatile. Avoid using them as the primary chords though, as their different timbres can clash. Despite their gentle demeanor, woodwinds can take center stage and shine in their own right. Finally, don't leave out percussion. Whether you include a simple snare pattern or use mallets, percussion adds great depth to your piece. Great job. Now for a quick recap of everything. I recommend that you construct an A theme that is catchy and strong with great underlying harmony. Also, don't forget about the B section, which will compare and contrast to your main theme while providing the overall piece with a more developed structure. The reprise of the A theme is crucial as it serves as the climax and its outro will wrap everything up. And of course, it is important that you orchestrate your piece for it to sound its greatest and most adventurous. Well, that was the guide. Now open up your notation software or DAW and get to it.